So this morning when we talked, I felt like I went through it way too fast, so I wanted to throw a quick recording together on how to use the updates for adding a product to the digital stuff while you're processing Believe, iTunes, or Apple. So basically, we're just going to be able to add and edit products. The only thing I left out of the steps is adding contracts, which I'm going to add to the program later, as I mentioned. So let me just show you again and fill in some of the stuff I probably left out. So just like before, you're going to bring up the sales upload and find the upload you want to process. So I'm going to grab the Apple. So we've already imported the files which were there already, and probably later on I'll do another demonstration on that. But so we don't need to import the files this time since I've already imported them. And it says status imported there. So I'm going to click on check translation. That's stuff that you already know. Of course, it takes a minute. Also, while this is loading, everything is geared towards the digital stuff. So you can do some of the other processing or product information type stuff in here, and eventually this will grow into a full-fledged product royalty system. But right now it's focused specifically on the digital stuff. So you can see we have a lot of red here. So basically we're just going to pick a product, highlight it, and then we'll click on the Add Edit Product button. This will bring up this screen here, this little Verify Product ID. It allows you to change the title if you need to. And then I default it to the ISRC, or the ISRC in this case, if you wanted to use that for product ID, or you can type in your own. So I'm just going to type one in that I can remember. And then we click Add Product. So this has added a product to Right Track now. If I pull over our Right Track screen and type in TEST and 4, there's our product that I just created. And all it's done so far is create the product and the configurations for that product. You still need to connect it to a contract, which is what it allows you to do here. And there's two ways to do that. You can attach contracts to each config one at a time. So you can pick one, double click on it, and then find your contract, highlight it, and then either double click it, or you can hit select up here. And then once you've selected a product, or excuse me, contract, now it allows you to make changes to it if you need to. So you can see it comes up here, and it has the share. The only thing you can change here is the share. Everything else you can't get to. If you need to make changes to something else, you have to go to Right Track right now. But I was just trying to focus in on the things that will make things go faster. So you can change the share here to whatever you might need to change it to by just simply typing over it and then hitting the Save button, which I'm going to put it back because we don't want to mess it up, and hit Save. And it's made that change. And then when you double click on it again to the contract production configurations, you either double click on it or you can click up here, and it brings up all of the different configurations that are in there. So you can actually get in and update those configurations as well. But we're mostly concentrating on these three, which are the three we've added to the system. And then you can go and change any of these. You can change anything with a numeric value. None of the configurations or the titles over here. As you probably already know, it needs to have a rate for it to actually work. So, sorry, not here. So now from here you can highlight one and then click contract rates. I'm sorry, and it brings up the actual rates. If the contract didn't already have DD STR and DDALB for the albums, it'll add it to it. So once you select a contract, it looks to see if those three are in there. If it's not in there, it adds those configurations to it, and then you can double click and get into the rates here. And the rates, it automatically creates domestic, foreign, and US, and they're all sales other. It defaults to 100% here, and then it'll default rates will be 0. In this case, there was already domestic and foreign in there, and we inserted US, and then you can double click and change these rates. For a product or contract to get, there needs to be a rate amount greater than 0, but if it's not supposed to have a rate, then you can just leave it 0. And they're all set up as the NI rate type for that. So, and in all these also, you can't edit them, but you can delete them. So you could actually click delete, and it would delete the US one. Same on these, you can delete anything in this list by highlighting and clicking to delete. That's basically, I think I wanted to make sure you understood that you could get into all that stuff. So I'm just going to walk through it one more time. We're going to click on the add, and we're going to change the test, or change the product ID, and then we're going to click add. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you is once you get here too, so right now if you double click in here, it's going to prompt you for a contract, but I'm going to close out of that. But if you highlight all three of them and you click add contract, and then you pick a contract, it'll add it to all of them. And you can add multiple contracts if you needed to. So if I clicked them all and then slid down here and picked another one, I'm just picking them at random. I understand they don't belong with that particular product, but I just wanted to show you that it actually works. And then you can see that they're all the contract the configs have the contracts in them now. And if for some reason one of these needed an additional contract, you can come in here and then click add contract button and add an additional one and hit select, and now we have 3 contracts in here. And again, from here you can either double click on the line or go right into contract product configuration. Does the same thing, and it brings up this product configuration screen, which is basically the equivalent of going here and then having to go F6 and then Alt F9 and then F10, go payouts, and bring this list up, which lists all of the contracts, which is the previous screen, and then Alt F9 in here. And this, I don't actually display the contract, but then you'd have to, in here you'd have to go up to rates, and then go down to configuration rates, and then you're here, which is here. So this is the same screen. This screen and this screen is the same screen. And then from here you can either double click or click contract rates. So and then get out all the way out. And then also you can do the same thing by when you click the add edit. If it's green, it's going to not work on that one, of course. Bring up like as if you just added the product, but it's just bringing up the actual products already in the system, and all the same screens are available. So if you needed to add a contract, you can add a contract, which this one apparently needs one. And then same process, you just go through and update and make the changes on that. So there's that. And then the other thing is on, close this out, I've added these additional screens here so you can actually do similar stuff. You can go right into contracts here if you want to do some contract maintenance, but it's limited as far as the same limitations as if it brings it up in the digital screen. So you can double click and double click. Oh, that's as far as we need to go. That's the actual rate. So it brings up the contract, these things, and then the rates, so that you can make changes to the rates. And then you can do it by products as well. So you can find a product and ignore this for right now. This is just ignore that this part up top here, and then same thing. Now you can get through all the additional steps. I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, so that we can. I want to make sure this is as simple as easy to use. So the process is to automate as much as possible and change the things we need to change. So it allows you to create most of everything that you need for a product, and the only things you have to go in and change is the actual share amounts and rate amounts, and so on and so forth. So that hopefully that'll speed things up a bit. Right now, I would just do one at a time. You can highlight multiple, but it basically just keeps prompting you to add a new ID, and stuff like that. And then if that one product is going to cover multiple detail lines in the digital, then you can highlight them all and select them afterwards, and that'll work as well. All right, thanks.